Hey folks, just a quick update today on the issue or the situation with BrandNewTube.com, the hacking situation. There's been another statement released by Mohammed Butt, and it seems that he's not happy. He's not taken too kindly with the situation being reported about BrandNewTube for whatever reason. As far as I'm concerned, it's an event that took place that people are aware of, and it's a matter of public interest. Some of it is opinion, yes. However, I do believe that this is a situation that people want to be kept up to date with. So I'm going to go over what the founders said most recently, and just bear in mind that I will be giving my personal views on this. So yes, it is my opinion. I'll be commenting on the part that pertains to me specifically, which I'll get into shortly, or certainly seems to pertain to me specifically anyway. So I'll get into that in a bit. But I just want you to be aware that, of course, I do express my personal views. The reason I'm making this clear is because of what has come out in this statement that Mohammed has actually said most recently. So we'll go over what he said first in the interests of obviously being transparent and fair. And it's the most important part of the statement, I think, is him giving us an update on what's happening with BNT and what's happening with people's data. So yesterday, on the 13th of October 2020, Mohammed, the director of BNT, he opens up his official statement, which is filmed in his car. He's parked at the side of the road by the looks of things, drinking a cup of coffee throughout. In his statement, he confirms that the hackers did get email addresses, but he says they struggled with the passwords. I would take that as a suggestion, I suppose, that no passwords were taken. However, it's not clear enough for an official statement. So if Mohammed wants to clear that up, then I think people would like a little bit of clarification on that. I know I certainly would, as to whether he's saying no passwords were taken. If the hackers struggled with the passwords, I'd like to know whether they actually got them or not. That's the main thing. So if they didn't, that is great news, because it means that our passwords aren't floating around the internet and we can all breathe a little sigh of relief if we had our data compromised in this hack. Even better, Mohammed confirms clearly that no images of passports or driving licenses have been stolen. He's advising that his tech team confirmed to him that the way the registration process works is that those images just disappear as part of the registration process, like they're automatically deleted or something, presumably. So I'm happy to take him at his word on all of this, because I don't believe a company director would mislead people on a video in an official statement, that's for sure. So very happy to take him at his word. Very pleased to hear that not a lot of stuff was actually managed, actually compromised during this hack. But I'd like to know if the passwords were or were not accessed by the hackers. I think that's something that people need to know. Again, he says that the hackers have got into BNT. This time he's actually saying they got in a second time or an additional time. I don't know if it's a second time or not, but they've been hacked again. And this additional hack involved the removal of multiple videos, which apparently specifically targeted Sonia Poulton and other popular channels on the website. If you want my opinion on Sonia Poulton, you can check out my video on her. I'll put it in the description, so you can go and check that out along with my other videos. But Mohammed says that Sonia's Raw Report 3 was targeted, and it's going back up as we speak. And he also tells us that the upcoming Raw Report 4 is going to be something special, so tune in for that, I guess, is the message there. It's a little bit of a plug, but that's okay. It's okay to plug things. So we've now got the hackers specifically targeting videos by Sonia Poulton and other creators, and it's kind of left to people to draw their own conclusions on why that would be done. This specific hack, though, it's not been made public by anyone other than BNT, and well, not as far as I'm aware anyway, not that I can see, and it hasn't been claimed, as far as I can find, by any individual or group of hackers yet. So it remains to be seen whether anyone comes forward and confirms that they carried that out. As I said previously, Mohammed does not appear happy that the hacking's been reported on YouTube. He basically says that the people on YouTube who are reporting on the BNT hack are basically just doing it for clicks and subscriptions and are guilty of defamation, effectively. That obviously would be up to a judge to decide, but he insinuates in this official statement that legal consequences are going to happen as a result of certain reporting that's taken place. And he also uses legal terms which relate specifically to defamation. So presumably he's actually hinting that litigation is going to be taking place against small YouTube channels such as this one. He's talking about a different channel when he says this, but he actually says that one channel has contacted the hackers directly for a statement, and that channel has then reported that alleged statement on their YouTube channel. And this is where Mohammed says there'll be consequences for this. Now, he's supposed to be running a free speech platform, and he's talking about consequences for people reporting what hackers have allegedly said. So you can make your own mind about that one. But he also says that small channels are making liable accusations. Now, that's the legal term which relates to defamation, liable accusations. And he says that these accusations and statements that have been made by these channels, including my own, will all be addressed. So it's interesting that he says that. It's almost exactly the same terminology used by a specific YouTube user that keeps threatening me with legal action on the BNT videos when I'm reporting the hack. He's trying to intimidate me, in my opinion, this YouTube user, who I will keep anonymous, but whose details obviously I have saved, and I've obviously got copies of the messages that have been sent as well, just in case there is any litigation and something needs to be sent to YouTube to actually find out who's been sending those messages. The person who's sending the messages says that they've got a direct line of communication to BNT, which is why I think it's quite interesting that the terminology is very, very similar to what BNT is now putting out in this statement. So with Mohammed stating that there's going to be consequences to channels like mine and others, obviously I have to take the consideration that there's going to be litigation coming my way. Now, I'm not saying 100% that that's what he's suggesting, but if he is insinuating that litigation will commence, then all I can say is that a full investigation will have to take place regarding the circumstances of the hack first, whether that be a police investigation, data commissioner investigation. There needs to be that investigation first so that the findings can be found, because those findings will make up any defense to any claims of defamation, for example. It can't just be defamation because you say it's untrue. It needs to be proven. It needs to be proven to have caused damage as well. If the hack has caused damage to the reputation of BNT, people talking about that is not defamation. As well as the fact that people being unhappy with the fact their data has been lost and expressing themselves in an unhappy fashion about BNT and positing opinions on what may have happened, again, that's not defamation either. But if I have said something, I'm talking about me now, if I've said something that's specifically untrue and that can be proven to be defamation, at least satisfactorily to me, if you can come and provide some evidence that what I've said is untrue at any point, then I will certainly consider retracting any statements or removing any videos if necessary. I've got no problems doing that. But I'll maintain that obviously the opinion of somebody who's lost their data in a hack, when they express their opinion on that hack, it's unlikely to be classed as defamation, especially when there's so little information being put out about the hack as well. Of course, in front of a judge, I might stand corrected. As I say, any litigation would really need to come after a full investigation of what happened, and those findings need to be made public first so that we can look into it and see if we were incorrect in what we said or not. Maybe the consequences that Mohammed's talking about weren't legal consequences. Maybe he was talking about something else, but I can't imagine what that would be. So I can only assume that he is talking about legal consequences. And also, when he's using the terminology liable statements, it seems that he's certainly talking about civil proceedings. So now let's get to the part where he actually calls me out. Certainly seems that he's doing that anyway. It's pretty much his opening statement. Mohammed starts off by introducing himself. He gives his full name and he says, well, you probably know that already because of a few cheap little YouTube channels trying to get clicks and subscriptions. To be fair, that's how YouTube works. Mohammed's modeled his own website on YouTube, so he should know this, and it's strange that he's chucking that one in there. But I just want to point out really that his name was already known to the public. It was already connected to BNT publicly. This was not me putting his name into the public. I would never do that. But he is the public representative of BNT. He appears on camera using his full name. He was happy to sign off statements on behalf of BNT. He's happy to appear on the Sonia and Sean show on BNT. Before it was axed, he went on to that show, which was probably their most viewed show, and publicly gave Sean Atwood a bit of a dressing down, in my opinion, due to the scandal that was engulfing Sean Atwood at that time. There's videos on my channel about that if you want to check them out as well. But effectively, Mohammed came on and gave Sean a bit of a dressing down for his shenanigans. But now Mohammed pretty much directly quotes me. I think he's misquoted me slightly, but he says of the cheap little YouTube channels that he referred to before, he said one of them actually says the founder of BNT is apparently someone called Mohammed Butt. And then he pauses and he says, what are you getting out of saying something like that? You know, what are you getting out of saying something like that? Well, the answer is nothing, because I don't know what you're talking about. He shakes his head as well, as if something untoward has been said, and as if the audience should know that something untoward has been said. But I really don't understand his exception to the statement. Now, what I actually said was, I believe the owner of BNT, or I believe the founder of BNT, is someone called Mohammed Butt. That was not intended to be disrespectful. That was a lead into the story about the hack. And I was putting your name onto it as you're the person who runs BNT. This is public information. It's not like you're getting outed or anything like that. You, as I say, you're publicly connected to BNT, and your name is well known by thousands and thousands and thousands of BNT users. Why public representative of a company would read into a statement like that and would take exception to somebody using their name in relation to a news story about their company, I don't know. I do wonder why you would take exception to such a thing. And just to be crystal clear, I know nothing about Mohammed. I've got nothing personal against him. I don't know him, so it's impossible for me to have anything personal against him. The only reason I said his name is because it's his platform that's been hacked. It's his name on the statements about the hack, and he himself is a public figure, and he's been in videos using his full name and saying that he is the founder, the senior founder of BNT. So I don't know what's going on there. I thought it was quite amusing there. It's pretty clear that he's talking about me there. And I would suggest that he just keeps his focus on the hack instead of singling out little channels on YouTube who are reporting on this legitimate news story. As I say, there's no coverage of this in the mainstream media at all. So there's going to be coverage of it online, and it's going to have to be from little channels because big channels aren't covering it by the looks of things. But why not just prepare a statement in the knowledge that it's going to be reported instead of just getting upset that people haven't given you a pass, or that nobody, you're getting upset that people are reporting on it. My data is being compromised by the looks of things, along with the data of many other people. So we've all got a right to be unhappy about the situation. I would say just get on with your job, get the website back up and running, get it nice and secure, for future use, and everybody can live happily ever after, and there'll be no more need to report on BNT. But that's everything for today, folks. I will report more on BNT if there are any more developments on this. I'll certainly keep you updated. I won't be intimidated into not reporting on it. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe. As I say, you can check out my other videos as well, and feel free to comment on the matter down in the comments below.